Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Monday, October the 21st. The year's 2019. Let's talk trading. Weekly pivot point trading. I received an email this morning from a trader who wanted me to do a video on weekly pivots. So I had something else planned, but I like to try and help traders out. So we're going to look at the weekly pivot point trading today. But first, we're going to talk about what we always talk about first: risk and money management. The thing about risk is you want to make sure you don't risk any more on one trade than you do on another. You want to make sure you don't risk an amount large enough that it proves detrimental to your trading account and to you as a trader and as a person. You know, if your trade is in the red and it's in the red so far that it causes you to worry, causes you to be upset and angry, causes you to lose sleep and to worry, then either A, you didn't follow your original risk decision and stop out of that trade, or you don't have a risk decision at all. So you've got to put that in place. That's number one. And you know, even though I said these things cause you to feel a certain way or react, they actually are not causes. That's just how you're choosing to react. Because one person, they could be down 1 pip and they could lose their mind, and another person just sits there calmly and goes, okay. So, you know, you choose your reaction. Just make sure you remember that. And as I just stated, you have to determine the dollar amount or the percent of your portfolio that you are willing to lose on any one particular trade, because you're not going to win them all. And remember, boys and girls, fellow traders, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And trading, especially Forex trading, is very, very risky. You can lose all your money. That being said, seek your financial advice from an accredited financial professional. That way, when you take their advice and you lose your money, you know it was somebody, that advice came from somebody who was an accredited financial professional, rather than just some guy, some trader that you heard on YouTube or read about on the internet. Okay, we're going to talk about weekly pivots. Let's move down to the pivot chart, and let's switch over to the weekly. Now, in their email, they traded 4 different pairs, and they all lost. I'm assuming those are the only pairs they traded, and they pretty much placed the trade within a period of, it looks like, 8 minutes. So I guess they looked at the chart, saw some weekly missed pivots, and they just jumped right in. So let's see, the first one they listed was New Zealand, Japan, and they entered at 69.09. So let's see, about where is 69.09 here? Let me expand this a bit. I should probably just put up another indicator. Well, it's right around here they entered. Now, the thing is, where was the open? The open was at 69.19. So it looks like they may have taken a buy zone trade to the south. Now, I don't know, because this has a low of 69.00. So I don't know if they entered before or after that was reached. If they entered before and they left those pips on the table, well, that's on you, trader. If you entered afterwards, then obviously price started going against you because you exited at 69.38. So you waited a while. I'm not sure if that was within your loss parameters or not, but I don't know. Did something go wrong? I can't really say, other than the fact that if you entered at 69.09, looks like, and the open was 69.19, you already let it go 10 pips. Looking here, you can see where price opened last week, or I'm sorry, where price closed last week. So it looks like you probably should have exited at 69.28 because it broke the previous week's high. It exited that wick zone. So I don't know if you've been following my videos, but there was the trade right there. So you see it opened here, and pretty much it opened where it closed last week. So if you were going to take that fade, it seems like you would have taken that fade from the get-go. Maybe if we switch down the H, well, it's going to move the pivots because I don't have the pivots fixed, so we'll have to stick on the weekly. But you can see there what happened. Now the next one was the Australian Canadian. And here we go again. You entered at 89.89, which was 6 pips above the low. So once again, there was an opportunity to take profit. You exited at 0.9012, and the previous week's high was 0.900. So right there, once again, breaking the previous week's high. You should have been out of that trade. So, and remember, you're working with weekly pivots. It might take a while for those pivots to hit. Now you can see here we've got some missed pivots. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a high, a lot of missed pivots on that pair. And let's see, we didn't look at that on the New Zealand yen. And you can see here there's a whole bunch, but usually I show you dollar yen and there's not much. So I don't know if you did your analysis or not, or if you just jumped in. But you have to do your analysis. You got to do your homework to see if the pair that you're trading likes to take out those weekly pivots. Okay, and let's see. They also did the Australian US dollar. And all of these trades they were doing were short. Here now, it gapped down. You guys know we talk about filling the gaps. Why would you think it was going to hit the pivot if it gapped down? I mean, it could, but you know what we trade here. Not to mention, you exited at 0.6864. The previous week's high was 0.6856. I'm not sure what you were doing there. Let's see, the open price was 0.6843. You shorted at 0.6844. So you shorted above the weekly open and on a gap down. Once again, you're not applying the things that I show you. So I don't know if you're a regular viewer or not, but you messed up there. You know, anything could happen. That you could have said, hey, I tried the weekly pivots and they all won. But if you go back and you look and see what could you have done different, did how did you look at did you do your analysis? Did you do your homework on the trade? Right here you can see we've got 3 missed pivots so far this year. We had 3 last year, but none before. So this looks like a strong candidate for those pivots to be hit. And you can see here there was a missed one, but then it hit it the next week. So, all is not lost. And finally, they did the Swiss franc yen. Okay, and what did they do? They shorted at 110.01, which was pretty much, they shorted at the open, exactly 110.019. But as you can see, that's a gap down. I don't know if they shorted. Let's see, it looks like they may have waited about a half an hour, so I don't know if it put in the low first or not, but there was an opportunity to take a little bit of profit there. If not, they didn't stop out to 110.27. Previous week's high was 110.15. They were just giving pips away, it looks like. So how else can you analyze this? Well, you see it gapped up. It also went above the weekly high. So right here, you should have stopped at the previous week's high once it crossed there. Now, but came back down, broke through the previous week's wick zone. That's where you might want to look for a short. But as I stated, we don't know what's going to happen next. And since I can see there's a difference in range of the stop losses, I don't know if you exited out of the stop losses. You said, hey, this isn't working. So before I hit my total risk amount, I'm just going to cut the trade. Or maybe you weren't employing risk on these trades. I don't know. Because all you sent me was, your entries, your exit, and the results. So that's how you can really, look at the weekly pivots. So I hope that helped. And by the way, there was a trader who said he wanted the TRO 123 indicator. And so I sent him the 123 indicator. But what he wanted was the 3-level ZZ semaphore indicator that I modified because he wanted the 1 ball, 2 ball, 3 balls. So that's why, traders, if you want something or if you're having a problem, you have to send me a chart showing me what you see so I can figure it out. Okay, for the week, all the gaps filled. There was one down here. I think it was $CAD that hadn't filled last night, but you can see they all filled. As far as the yen, it hit the previous week's midpoint, exceeded that. It's in the upper wick zone for the week. We'll see what happens. 112 pips below the yearly open. And for the range traders, the opening range traders, here's the first day of the month range. You can see we moved up. We're about, right now, about 7 pips above it. So that was a nice trade. I think we showed that last night. You can see we're above some of the opens here and below some of the opens. We're still green on the month. We're green on the week right now. You can see where we're exiting this other ranges here. The high of the July 1st range right there. Okay, we opened in that monthly inside bar. And as you can see, there's a lot of inside bar action for you inside bar traders that you can get on the daily. There's a few on the week, and there's also still some on the month that you can take advantage of those trades. Range, we've got 7 pairs over 100, mainly the pound. And you can see we're green for the day. I believe yesterday in the beginning we were red for the day. Obviously, if you look at close the low, you can see some of the moves off of the low. Weekly holo, we put that in just a few, 6 hours, 7 hours ago. And so, fellow traders, I hope that helped you. But just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks.